This is Genevieve Stafford Jack, and today's video is going to be centered around investing is a messy business. And it becomes a messy business depending on where you start off with, right? And I trust that in this video that you are going to take away lessons like it's a messy business because there is renovation, but it's a messy business when you don't get the right direction and education to build you up to where you are wanting to go. So I trust that this is going to build and inspire you. And by the time we get to the end of this video, if you are truly inspired, I would see you doing what? Smashing the like button. So here we go. If you've watched the previous video that I'd shared my journey from being a to a property entrepreneur and the 6 lessons that I had learned from that particular journey. And today I really just want to say, before we got into property investing, my husband and I had numerous side hustles. And in those side hustles, we had also won lots and we lost lots. And at some point, we'd gotten into some businesses, and by the time we got out, we broke even. But some businesses left us crippled and in 5 million debt. I promise you, you didn't hear wrong. In 5 million debt. You see, a lot of the times we believe that we get into business and magically we'd make so much money. And there are times that others will say, I'd rather work for myself than work for a boss that's going to exploit me. Both sides of that coin, I believe, is true. The reason I believe that both sides of the coin is true is that when you do work for yourself, you can make a lot of money. However, before you actually get into making a lot of money and the connections and all of that, there is a growth period. And in that growth period, it can be very, very emotionally like can rip you apart. And if you are not prepared for that one, I promise you, if you are anything like me, you're going to feel emotionally torn. You're actually going to start having regrets on what the heck was I thinking? What was I even up to? Why did I even think that I can exceed in this particular business, right? Entrepreneurship is messy. Investing is messy. And before I get into the investing components of it, I'd like to share that when we started in our investing journey, we started cash strapped and in debt. I've written a book about that. In the description below, you can click on and get that book for free. You can click on the link that's there, get that book for free, because I believe that people need to really understand when you are in an emotional state, sometimes you don't make the best decisions. And I didn't make the best decisions, but however, I'm thankful that in as much as the business of investing and entrepreneurship is messy, I was able to learn from those mistakes and get going in the middle of my dwang. So nonetheless, let's go back to this 5 million debt. My husband comes home and says, babe, let's go to a property investing seminar. And I thought, the what? I beg your pardon? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, did this guy win the lotto? Did he get an inheritance I didn't know about? Because who the heck goes to a property investing seminar when they're already in mad debt they don't even understand the figures of? Like, who does that? And so I was that chick having that moment like, who does that? Well, apparently we did. And in that, we had gone through to the seminar. And in the seminar, this guy was talking. I was irritated. I was looking around the room. And the rich dad, poor dad principles were all over the room. And I remembered, hey, Bana, I bought a 2-bed, 1 bath. I bought it a long time ago. And I remember reading this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Maybe I should pay attention. But another part of my emotion is like, why get your hopes up when you can't even invest because you don't have money and you don't even know how much debt you're in? This farm has sucked the money dry from you. Like, who does that? As I'm sitting there, the speaker said, no money down deal. Of course that's going to get my attention. Do you think it's going to get your attention? He said that and I thought, this guy, I'm listening to him intently, and I came closer and I came closer, and I thought to myself, if this is true, no money, still I'm going on this training, because he's making it sound too easy, man. So I went on the training, and for 3 days in a very cold room, From 9 till 7, we were listening and learning all about property training. And I asked my questions. You know why? I felt at the time, my husband and I paid double digits to be here. We paid a stupid amount of money for that 3-day training. Over 10,000, small hint. And I thought to myself, I'm going to make my money run far here. Because if this guy is lying, I am not going to be happy. And with that, I was cynical, okay? If you're cynical, I want to hear from you in the comments. Also type, I'm cynical, Jen. All right, because I'm just thinking, am I alone here? Nonetheless, in all of this, this is what we learned. We made a hustle to get a coach. When I say we made a hustle, guys, by March, or was it April 2017, we learned properly with the figures that we had in front of us that we were in 5 million debt. So yes, we made a hustle December 2016 to get going with this coach. And that was one of the best things that we did. So the messy part of it is emotionally, sometimes the dialogue that you have inside, man, can just totally take your mind to different places, right? But the other messy part is they told us to go and look for broken down houses. And I was like, what? And this is the investing part that gets messy, because we were taught to go and find below market value houses. So just give me a second here to explain. Below market value means go and find a broken down house somewhere. Okay, not all the time, but 99% of the time. Go and find a house or a property that is standing on its last year that you can make money from. Why? Because when you find a house that you need to fix up, the messy part, there needs to be renovations that needs to happen. And once the renovations are happened, it's in a livable, functional state. And that's when you can get tenants or you can sell it. Because when you buy it way under market value, meaning the house is valued, and let's take this example, at 500,000. But because it is so broken and so much work that needs to go in it, the person that is selling it may just be so desperate and sell it at 250,000. If you get your people and your numbers in place, and I'll tell you what your people and your numbers mean. When you get them in place, so that those that can do a house inspection for you to make sure that the structure of the property is in order, that's your people in place. So your numbers would be, so this place is worth 500,000. I've got it for 250,000. And a contractor or a builder will come and say, this is the quote to fix it up. And say, for example, it is 60,000. So which then means at value, this house is 500,000. The seller's going to sell it to you at 250,000. The builder's going to fix it for you at 60,000, which then means you're 305,000 in. There's closing costs when you do go to the bank to finance that property. So who's your people in all of this? You literally need to see, did you get a real estate agent to find the property to help you through the property? Did you get somebody like a coach or an attorney to help you go through your offer to purchase so that you're not having funny clauses that's going to get you into a mess? All right. And when you were working out your calculations on, how much could I make from this? Did you work out your numbers? Did you work out your calculations? And again, in working out your calculations, I want to say, I have got a course that's on my website. You can go and have a look at it. So if you've already started your journey and you want to know how to, I'd say go into the description, click on the button where it says GenevieveJack.com, and it will take you in through to the online courses that I offer to help you through those numbers. But back to the numbers. As you work out your numbers, get your people and your numbers in place. Because eventually when your numbers make sense, and say, for example, your numbers for this property that is valued at 500,000, you're buying it for 250, say your renovation is 60,000, say your closing costs and all the other costs that you may need, right? A hypothetical situation, say that's also another 60,000. I didn't do numbers on there. These are hypothetical numbers, right? For the example that we are going to be using. So if my My renovation cost and my closing cost of this deal is 120,000, the 60/60, and the property I'm going to buy 250,000. Then you say to yourself, okay, so that would be 370,000 for a house that is valued at 500,000. You have now bought yourself 130,000 into a deal that you would not have had. And that is all around equity. And I promise the video on equity is coming, just so that I can explain equity and how best you can use equity. So in the business of investing, it can get messy literally, because you're going to have to break down the property sometimes. Sometimes you're just going to have to go and break down the roof or whatever renovations needs to happen in that property, so that you can bring that property from the 250 broken down state to this value of 500,000 by fixing it and making it functional, so that any family that moves in will not be harmed because the roof is about to fall on them, right? So you're bringing it up to the standard and the value of the houses within the area. However, you paid a significantly lower amount of money, and therefore the rent that you may just be asking for that is in the area will cover your bond and other expenses, because you need to know there's financing costs if you haven't gone for a bond. So a bond is financing costs, and if an investor is helping you, that's your financing costs. Okay, so how you finance that particular property and the different expenses that come with that property. Most times when you go for a house that is broken or a property that's broken, and you force appreciated, meaning you have renovated the messy part and you've made it a little pretty, quite pretty inside, and you brought it up to a functional level. You open the tap, water comes out. You put the lights on, you don't get electrocuted. Yeah, so you brought it up to a level where somebody can stay in it. All of this just becomes a messy business, right? But is it a messy business in a good way or in a bad way? It all goes back to how much investment that you made in you to be able to work through the messy business of investing. Because if you're renovating and you've never gone through a renovation before and somebody's not holding your hands, 8 out of 10 times you could wing a couple of things, but that 2 out of 10 times something can come back and bite you. Yeah? Your first deal, your second deal, you could do that. I know I've done deals. Actually, let me just give you a quick rundown on this one thing that I did. I got a 2-bed, 1 bath, right? Little renovation that needed to be done. When I sold it, the offer to purchase, it was such a flimsy offer to purchase. It was downloaded off the internet. Fortunately, I was selling it to somebody that also worked in the bank. And like many of us, when you buy your first property, you don't read into much. You just know you're buying this. The bank is going to finance it, and that's it. So I didn't get somebody that was like too technical on the other side. That could have come back to bite me in the behind. It really could. Now, knowing what I know. So now my offer to purchase looks a lot better. So nonetheless, in the business of investing is a messy business. I just want to encourage you, saying it's a messy business twofold, as I shared throughout this video. It's a messy business. Why? Because in this business, there's going to be some sort of renovation that's going to take place. There's going to be some sort of emotions that are involved, and that leads to the other parts of the messy business. The messy business is if you have not invested in yourself, done the training, or even had somebody hold your hand through the process, you will get into a space where it's so messy for you because it's become an emotional nightmare. So what are you going to do with the new things that you've learned, right? Or may not have learned. So I trust that this particular video, Investing is a Messy Business, has really just gone out and helped you think through some of the processes that you need to do before getting started. And for some of you that have not gotten started, I want to encourage you to go down into the description. There is a free investment course that I have done during this pandemic. I remember starting a group on Facebook at the end of March and saying, guys, I'm going to teach you for free. And I literally showed up every evening for 3 evenings, and many people showed up as well. And it was like I don't know, was it 9, 10 hours of content, and some of that was the most valuable I'd put onto my website so that I can give that information for free for people to actually start thinking, can I start investing in property? And it's about 3.5 hours or so of free training on my website. So I want to encourage you, if you're thinking about that, click on that link below in the description, and I know that that is going to be valuable because it's real time. It's real time that was happening in the Facebook group. There was questions, there was answers, there was quite a few things that was going on. So I just want to say, be patient through some of the questions and answers, but I also want to say some of those questions and answers may just answer some of the things that you may have in your heart. So without much ado, I want to say thank you for staying till the end of this video. I trust that this video has been awesome for you. And like I shared at the beginning, if you love this video and you resonate and you believe that there's somebody in your circle that needs this video today, I want you to smash on the share button and share it with them, right? I want you to tag them down in the comments, bring them, drag them here, because you know it's been of value to you. And if you know your circle, it could be value to them. So take good care until the next episode.